Have you ever been on the receiving end of a sexually inappropriate comment about your clothing or makeup or even your perfume? Or got a questionable remark from somebody that you work with? Well, if so, this video is for you. So today I'm going to give you a few key tactics using your eyes alone that are going to help you deal with those comments, but hopefully also send a message to the perpetrator so that they're not repeating themselves and reoffending you or others. So the key I picked on eyes are important because women know that eyes are our most expressive part of the body, given our predilection for eye makeup. So let's actually use them to silence the workplace weirdos as well. So if you watch this video to the end, I'm going to tell you what the children you love so much in your life may have in common with Harvey Weinstein, the poster boy whose actions kicked off a movement that's taken the world by storm. So let's start with why you should address bad behavior as soon as it starts. Well, bad behavior has a ripple effect, and it does affect the whole team. People hear it, but also the people who hear what that person said. Plus, if they're not going to be challenged, they're going to get worse. They'll push their luck further and further each time until suddenly you have like a sexual harassment claim on your hands. And he says, oh, but I thought she wanted it, or it's just banter. The first tip around your eyes. First of all, if the comment was said publicly, make eye contact with others to gauge their reaction and any support you may get from them. If people roll their eyes or look aghast, and if they do, then they're actually likely to have your back if you challenge the person then and there. However, if no one looks surprised, then you also have a couple options. You may have to recognize that you don't have much support, so pick a better time to challenge, or you might need to question if the comment was as interpreted. I know I've said things that I've immediately regretted, things that I wish I could take back. Most people do. However, if the comment was part of a pattern or the intent was clearly negative and you routinely also have no support at the office, well, maybe this isn't the right environment for you. You don't want to stay in a place where offensive comments are par for the course. Which brings me to the second person you need to have some eye contact with, and that's the perpetrator themselves. Again, you've got a couple options. You could go for the confused look, like you just didn't get their joke. Now, I use a mix of these when I've had builders in my home and they make jokes amongst each other about how the lady likes a big stopcock, or how they'd love to show me some of their bigger tools in the van. But I often go for the confused or even slightly vacant look, sending the message that I didn't really find them funny, or I'm not even particularly keen to understand what they meant. Your other option when making eye contact with the perpetrator is to show that you understood, but they can still walk back from what they just said. I usually start with an artfully raised single brow, one that I was lucky enough to inherit from my mother. And when we were growing up, if my brother or I got the eyebrow, well, we knew we were in trouble. Ladies, this is the bit that you do not want to have Botoxed because it is so beautifully expressive. Often the look alone is enough to put the person on the back foot and get them explaining themselves without you even having to say a word. But if you weren't blessed with weirdly asymmetric eyebrows like I and other people are, you can simply raise both brows. That works too. And if you want to make the most of your brows, well, you can check out other videos on YouTube where there's lots of people who can show you how to bushy them up. But that's not something I can help with, unfortunately. You can even pair this one with a small vocal cue like, really? Or, whoa. And that just means, did you really say that? It means that you're going to let them back themselves up from that offensive comment. So now all you may be wondering what I meant by my first observation. What could your kids and Harvey Weinstein possibly have in common? Well, let me be clear. No one is born a perpetrator. Nope. They just start out being the difficult person who gets away with it. And that's really important because the types of jokes we get away with often send a bigger message about the types of behaviors that will go either ignored or condoned. Weinstein didn't start his career asking for sexual favors or even allegedly raping women in exchange for acting roles. He probably started out where most of us do, as children, testing the waters just to see how much we can get away with. If you found this video useful, please share it and comment below with your own tips for how you have challenged bad behavior. Now, this video is part of my series for women working in male-dominated fields, so please go check that out on the playlist. I'll put a link in for that in the description for this video alone.